Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. It's Wednesday, hump day. And this is Untethered Live, and I am your host, Jake Johnson. And this, I already said what it is. I'm not telling you again. It's not my fault you're not listening. Hey, what's happening, Bubby Watts? Good to see you, buddy. I remembered your smiley faces. I never forget a fella. Can't remember your name, but your fez is familiar. How are things out there in the world? How's the weather where you're at? Hopefully better than it is where I'm at, which is rainy, as per usual. Seems to rain a lot around here. I don't know why that is. Tonight, we're going to talk about some news. We're going to talk about Hunt for Sub-Turnt-Over. We're going to talk about other news. We're going to play some music. And we're going to chit-chat. That's the typical formula for what goes on around here. I hope you're ready for it. Because I'd like to get into what's going on out there. Some of you may have heard the grass isn't greener here, unfortunately, either. I hear you, buddy. And, well, you know, I guess we need the rain. Kind of sucks if you're a motorcycle rider, but I guess we need the rain. I guess it's better than being in a drought. That would suck. So, be thankful we got it, I guess. As long as we're having the good fortune of being inside and dry. Florida in the summer, yeah. It rains pretty much every day in Florida, doesn't it? Seems like I remember lots of little showers. No particular storm. It just rained for a little while, you know. Clear skies, warm day, and then it stops. I remember those days. I lived in Florida for about 15 years in Lakeland, the big city of Lakeland, which is much bigger now than it was when I lived there. And, that's right smack dab in the middle of Florida, for those of you that don't know. It's in between Plant City and Orlando. Or some such. On I-4, headed south. Anyway, if you've ever been to Disney World, you passed right by it. Probably didn't even notice the exit that said Lakeland that way. But there's a lot of stuff in Lakeland. It's a pretty big town. It's bigger than Greenville, North Carolina, I can tell you that. And I lived there. Both places. So, can I get your pain, Jake? Oh, I can get your pain. I read that backwards. Sorry. I used to ride my bike to high school all 4 years, and I just remember the rainy days, and they sucked. What kind of bike did you have? Was it a good one or a cheap one? I've had both. There's nothing wrong with a cheap bike. I'm just asking what it was. Oh, sometimes I prefer it, actually, because the one I got was expensive. But it has paid for itself, though. I mean, it's a good, dependable machine, and I can work on it, which is important. There's nothing weird, no need for a Chinese engineer to, you know, change a spark plug or something like that. Just take it apart and put it back together, no problem. That's the good thing about buying American. But the bad thing about buying American is the price tag, and it just is stupendous. Inner tube, a little piece of rubber for that bike, cost $50 for an inner tube. An inner tube you used to could go to the store and buy for your bicycle for $1.50. Oh, it's a mountain bike. I thought you were talking about a motorcycle. I understand. It's an 18-speed mountain bike. I got you. Yeah, it's a little different than doing it at 50, 60 miles an hour. Rain to the face at 60 miles an hour is like needles. And of course, you can't wear a covered helmet because you just be a nerd. You got to have the half helmet like all the cool bikers have, and no face shield, and for whatever reason that caught on. And so it's like being slapped in the face every time you're going down the highway. You get used to it, though. It doesn't really bother you. And one very important thing that you must always remember when riding a motorcycle, never, and I mean ever, smile. Do you know why? There's a reason that you never smile while riding a motorcycle. So you don't get bugs in your teeth. How about that? You ever seen the grill of a car? That's your mouth. Where is everybody? Well, there's Julie. Hey, Julie. Good to see you. Welcome to the show. Come on in. How's your week? Hope you're doing well. Juneteenth is a thing, apparently. I still can't figure out what it means, but whatever. Spoke too soon, says Bubby Watts. Hey, it's good. Been hanging out with my grandson. Oh, that's lovely. I don't have one of those yet, but I'm working on it. Maybe. I have a daughter, so it's possible. It's potential. I have a son, too, so it could go both ways. No. I didn't mean that. I mean, it could go either way. Hopefully it goes the right way or I wouldn't have any grandkids, but you know what I'm saying. What a lovely day it was today until it clouded up. And about 4 o'clock it started clouding up. And then by 5 o'clock it was sprinkling. And by 6:30 it was raining. So it isn't raining currently, but it will be soon. Again. It's not like a thunderstorm or anything, but we do have a tropical storm out in the ocean, and there's a cold front pushing down, and all the hot air is like right here, so it's gonna be rainy. It depends on the weather. I might go visit my grandparents this weekend. That sounds lovely. I don't have any grandparents to visit, but I appreciate that you would go visit yours. Oh no, he's been playing a lot of guitar. You need to bring him to listen to the podcast. Maybe he'll learn something when he gets to that spot. You say he's only 2, so he's got some time. But that's a good time to start playing if he'll hang on to it. I can't remember when I started playing. It's been longer than I've been able to formulate memories, forever. But I'd say the younger the better, because when you're young like that, you can pick up skills you can't pick up when you're old like this. A guy starting at my age would never be able to be fast, or even a guy starting at 25 would not be able to be fast. That's a thing that only youth can do. Like piano players, they tell you the earlier the better, because you can form those muscle memories that you can't do when you're older. So it's nice that he's starting so young. I tried everything to get my children into music, and they just would not have any of it, neither one of them. And I think it's because I wanted them to. And kids work on some kind of weird reverse psychology that I have yet to ever figure out. I know it's there. I know it exists, but I don't know how to do it, because I'm, number one, don't lie to my kids. And number two, I'm not a beat around the bush game player type guy. I'm pretty straightforward. I'm as serious as a heart attack and mean as a snake. So, how do you reverse psychology your kids? I don't know. I never figured it out. But hopefully they'll come to it one day. Or else everything I've learned will just die with me, I reckon. That's pretty intense. Didn't mean it to sound that way, but I do wish my kids would get into music or something, you know. Walter Davis, what's up, buddy? Walter says, hi, Jake, Bubby, Judy, Julie, whoever. He stands in front of the mirror and sings and dances. He acts like he's making chords. Sometimes it almost sounds like he's getting some. He also tries to strum and pick as a 2-year-old would. That's beautiful. I love it. I would love to see a video of that. Bubby Watt says, what's going on, Walter? How are you? And Julie says, hi, everyone. Judge Judy is here. You are not the father. What? Terrifying. Yeah, that's beautiful to watch a kid play and be interested. Maybe show him some Elvis videos and see if he can pick that up. I'm finishing up a plumbing job. Wow. I hate plumbing. I would much rather pay somebody else to do it. I do not like climbing under a house. I got some plumbing I got to do around here, and I don't want to do it. He's totally into watching anyone play. That's awesome. What's his name? First name. I love it when children are involved in music because it gives me hope that there's a future for it, because what's on the radio right now does not bode well for music. Ezra. Interesting. What kind of name is that, Ezra? Is that like from somewhere, or is it just a name? Seems like it's got some kind of etymology. Ezra. I wouldn't even know what country that would be. Hispanic? Okay. Well, there you go. Could be. I don't know. It's an interesting name, though. It's biblical, but also one of the guys in Pretty Little Liars. Okay? I know a couple of Ezras who are Hispanic. Okay. Well, that may be what it is then. I don't know. I was thinking maybe Egyptian or something. It's just got that kind of feel to it. It's an interesting name. Speaking of guitar playing, we're going to do a little of that tonight. Maybe, if you guys are into it. But I want to talk about this submarine that's been lost for a few days now. A couple days. There's a experimental submarine that takes people down for 8 days underwater to look at the wreckage of the Titanic. And a ticket costs $250,000 for 8 days. You stay on this submarine. They got 96 hours of oxygen plus whatever they use in that 8 days. Have extra 96 hours of oxygen. Well, a couple of days ago, it stopped responding. Now it's got 3 or 4 different fail safes to where if anything goes wrong, it should surface by itself. It didn't. And they have no communication with it. There's 5 people on board, and they have been down there for 3 days. It's only got a few more days left, and they're going to die down there if they can't find it. They're hearing knocking noises on the sonar, so apparently the people in there are still alive and trying to communicate their location. I doubt any of them know Morse code, you know. But they're looking frantically trying to find this thing. And that's a terrifying thought, to be that far underwater. Because the Titanic's pretty deep. Right? And so this experimental submarine is built specifically to go down that deep. Most submarines don't go that deep. I don't know if you know that or not, but there's limits to how deep something can go before it implodes. And this one is built structurally so that it can go deeper than the average. It's a small thing. It's about the size of a minivan, which means on the inside it's like the size of a walk-in closet, cramped with equipment, you know what I mean, and 5 people. So it just kind of disappeared. They don't know what happened. They don't know where it's at. They don't have any idea. My guess is it turned over or got stuck somehow, or maybe some of the wreckage fell on top of it where it wouldn't, go back to the surface by itself, which is what it's supposed to do, only it's not doing it. And obviously their communications are lost, or they would be able to radio out. Who knows? But they're running out of air. As of, I think it was 11 o'clock this morning, they had 96 hours of air left. So whatever's going to happen could happen. ATL, what's up, buddy? Good to see ya. Julie says he is Hispanic, but my daughter honestly got it from the show I mentioned earlier, Pretty Little Liars. Gotcha. Bubba Watt says, we should wait for April and the rest of them before you start playing. I will. Julie says, what an awful situation to find yourself in. I know, right? That would be excruciatingly terrifying. Can you imagine? You got the ocean surrounding you and it wants to crush you. The only thing keeping it from crushing you is the pressure inside of the submarine, which is eventually going to subside, especially if you stop breathing. And if the air runs out, eventually it's going to implode. And then you can't communicate with the surface, which is way up above your head. You can't get out and swim up or you die. You get the bends or whatever before you got there. So you're stuck under the ocean, and it's like a needle in a haystack. They have no idea where to look. They're just like panning back and forth, hoping they bump into it, because there's no way to tell where it's at. Bubby White says, to me, nothing is scarier than being isolated in the ocean. Yes. Walter says, it was its first attempt. That was its first voyage? Is that what you're saying? I didn't realize that. I thought they were running that thing pretty regular. I mean, I know how much it cost to buy a ticket on it, so obviously they had plans if they hadn't already done so. ATL says, hey. Bubby White says, what's up, ATL? ATL says, I saw your notice for Rumble. Can't figure that Rumble out yet. Well, what's there to figure out, buddy? Just go to rumble.com on your browser and type in rumble.com/UntetheredLive. It'll bring you right to it. And if you're using a phone, just download the latest Rumble app from Google Play or whatever, or the App Store. And that'll do the same thing. Good to be here, says ATL. And hey, Bubby. ATL says, I wonder if they brought pills with them to suffer less. I don't know. I wouldn't imagine so. I imagine they weren't planning on getting stuck down under the ocean. ATL says, could you imagine being a 45-year-old billionaire and that happened? Yeah, paying $250,000 to die? Yeah, that sucks. Not that it's worse if you have less money, but I hear you. Hitting all those buttons, terrifying. Howie Brown. There's a name I don't recommend, or I don't remember seeing. Good to see you. Everybody has a come to Jesus moment in their life. That's true, Howie. And I'm sure they're having it at that very moment. I'm sure they're praying in droves, taking turns. Walter says it took 30 years to develop a remote control sub that could go that deep and not crush. They had to pressurize the inside to match the 6,000 PSI on the outside. It's thick and it got crushed. I don't know that it got crushed. I haven't heard the latest news yet. I don't know that they found it. As far as I know, they're still looking for it, as of the last time I heard. Bubby Watt says, welcome, Howie. If you're new, well, I don't recognize him, so he must be new, but please hit that subscribe button if you hadn't done so already. We get up to lots of things around here. And let us know who you are. Talk to us. Julie says, welcome, Howie. Snarkin's ass. Boopy. What kind of emoji is that? Is that a ladybug? Or a blood red hockey mask? I can't really tell. Howie says, peace all. Peace be with you, brother. They haven't found it yet, says Julie. Okay, I didn't think they had. So let me pull up this news article and read a little of it and see what it says. It's a ladybug. Okay. A massive search and rescue operation is underway in the mid-Atlantic after a tourist submarine went missing during a dive to Titanic's wreck on Sunday. Contact with the small sub was lost about an hour and 45 minutes into the dive, and the U.S. Coast Guard are looking. Tour firm OceanGate said all options were being explored to rescue the 5 people on board. Tickets cost $250,000 or $195,000, whatever that little L with the line through it is. I think that's a pound. For an 8-day trip, including dives to the wreck at the depth of 3,800 meters. That's 12,500 feet. That's way deeper than submarines usually go. This is a special submarine made specifically to go that deep. 12,500 feet. That's at least a couple miles deep. Government agencies, the U.S. and Canadian navies, and commercial deep-sea firms are helping the rescue operation, says officials. The Titanic wreck lies 435 miles south of St. John's, Newfoundland. Though the rescue mission is being run from Boston, Massachusetts, which seems odd. The missing craft is believed to be OceanGate's Titan submersible, a truck-sized sub that holds 5 people and usually dives with a 4-day emergency supply of oxygen. That's, why would it have a 4-day supply of oxygen if it's going to be 8 days underwater? That make any sense to anybody but me? That doesn't seem right. On Monday afternoon, Rear Admiral John Mauger of the U.S. Coast Guard told news conference, we anticipate there is somewhere between 70 and the full 96 hours available at this point. That was Monday afternoon. 70 and 96 hours. Between 70 and 96 hours. He also said that 2 aircraft, a submarine, and sonar buoys were involved in the search for the vessel. Noted the area in which the search is taking place was remote, making operations difficult. So apparently it's not in a well-traveled area. How they got off course or where they are at in relationship to the Titanic wreck is unclear because nobody actually knows where this submarine is. And there's, well, you can't see it. I was going to show you a picture of it, but Rear Admiral Mauger said the rescue teams were taking this personally. Well, I would hope so. If my family was on that boat, I would want somebody taking it personally, too. And we're doing everything they could to bring those on board home safe, quote, unquote. Hamish Harding, a 58-year-old British billionaire businessman and explorer, is among those missing in the submarine, says his family. On social media at the weekend, Mr. Harding said he was proud to finally announce that he would be aboard the mission to the wreck of the Titanic, but added that because of the worst winter in Newfoundland in 40 years, this mission is likely to be the first and only manned mission to the Titanic in 2023. And if they die on that voyage, it's liable to be the last one because nobody else is going to want to do that. He later wrote, "A weather window just opened up, and we are going to attempt to dive tomorrow." OceanGate said its entire focus was on the crew members in the submersible and their families. "We are deeply thankful for the extensive assistance we have received from several government agencies and deep-sea companies in our efforts to reestablish contact with the submersible." You think? Maybe try smoke signals? Something? Get some divers out there? You got sonar, man. How hard is it to find a white submarine near a wreck it was going to, where you know where the wreck's at? So start there and work your way out. That's what I would suggest. The company bills the 8-day trip on its carbon fiber submersible as a chance to step outside of everyday life and discover something truly extraordinary, like how to spend a lot of money to die underwater. According to its website, one expedition is ongoing, and 2 more have been planned for June of 2024. I don't know if that's a smart move. The submersible usually carries a pilot, 3 paying guests. Anybody want to do the math on that? That's 250,000 times 3. That's $750,000 for one trip. You'll pay off that submarine in no time, boys and girls. And what the company calls a content expert. So there's a pilot and a content expert, which means this guy really knows the stuff you got on board. The trip sets sail from St. John's in Newfoundland. Each full dive to the wreck includes the descent and ascent. Reportedly takes around 8 hours. So it takes 8 hours to go down and come back up. So it's 4 hours down and 4 hours up. That's how far down this thing is. And that's not including what time they spend down there. It just takes 4 hours to get there. The vessel weighs 23,000 pounds. And according to the website, can reach depths of up to 13,100 feet and has 96 hours of life support available for a crew of 5. The vessel, called the Polar Prince, which is used to transport submersibles to the wreckage site, was involved in the expedition, its owner told the BBC. The BBC. Welcome to the BBC. Okay, so they're showing a map here from Newfoundland, which is right below Canada and right across from Finland. I'm just kidding. It's about, it looks like it's about 400 miles off the coast of Newfoundland, if this map is correct. David Prague, a CBS reporter who traveled in the Titanic submersible last year, told the BBC about the issues that both the submersible crew and the land crew were likely to be experiencing, saying that there was currently, quote, no way to communicate with the vessel as neither GPS nor radio, quote, work underwater. When the support ship is directly over the sub, they can send short text messages back and forth. Clearly, those are no longer getting a response, Mr. Pogue said. So apparently, the only way you can communicate with this thing is to be directly above it. So you can't use your phone to Wi-Fi out a signal because Wi-Fi doesn't work underwater. Apparently, neither does radio, neither does GPS, which means they have no way of knowing where they are, and the crew has no way of knowing where they are. That's not good. Seems to me like they'd have figured something out like a flag or something, you know. Send up a torpedo. Jesus. He added that because the passengers were sealed inside the vessel by bolts applied from the outside, quote, there's no way to escape. Even if you rise to the surface by yourself, you cannot get out of the sub without a crew on the outside letting you out. Does this sound like a tomb to anyone else? Why would you allow yourself to be bolted into a device you can't get out of? No safety hatch, no nothing. No emergency escape. The Titanic, which is the largest ship of its time, hit an iceberg on its maiden voyage from Southampton to New York in 1912. Of the 2,200 passengers and crew on board, more than 1,500 of them died. That's half. Its wreckage has been extensively explored since it was discovered in 1985. The wreck lies in two parts, with the bow and the stern separated by about 2,600 feet. A huge debris field surrounds the broken vessel. Last month, the first full-size digital scan of the wreck was created using deep-sea mapping. The scan shows both the scale of the ship as well as some minute details, such as the serial number on one of the propellers. Blah, 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 and that was the end of the article. Okay. Well, there you have it, sports fans. We have the makings of a missing ship with 5 potentially dead people at the bottom of the ocean. I don't like this story very much. Walter Davis says, hi, Snark and Howie and ATL. Snark says, Walter. Peace with sunglasses. April Rain. Hello, Jake Love. Good to see you. Good to see you too, sweetheart. I'm glad you made it. How are you, Snark? Says Bubby Watts. Snark says, April. It's going to rain. I love ladybugs. Bubby Watts says, hey, April. How are you today? Snarker says, Bubby Watts. Peace, but really cool. ATL says 2.5 miles, I think. Okay. April says, hi, Walter Love. Good to see you, Snark. Hey, beautiful lady and Bubby Watts. How are y'all? ATL says, hi, April Rain. Julie says, hi, April. Bubby Watts says, I'm doing good, April. Thank you for asking. Much love, says April Rain. To ATL, Heart, Pac-Man Ghost. Good to see you. April says, Julie Love, how are you, Heart? Much love, Pac-Man Ghost. Kissy face heart. Walter says, it was just supposed to go down and come back up a couple of hours later. Nope, they were going down for 8 days. That's the trip is 8 days. I don't know if they go down and come back up several times, but the whole thing lasts 8 days. Well, now it's going to last longer than that. Bubby Watt says the remote was a cheap-ass game remote, too. Yeah, it's like a Nintendo remote. That's how they drive the thing from the boat. I don't know how they do it inside. Well, probably a joystick or something, but they have the remote from the boat, but they can't function because they have to be directly above it for it to even work. It doesn't seem like a sound design to me. Bubby Watts says, weird. April says, Bubby Watts, thanks, smiley face prayers, so much for looking out for Jake. Thank you, sweetheart. Along with everyone here, I love you all. Jake, I'm sorry I'm late. I've been at work. I understand how that is, sweetheart. Me too. Julie says, I'm great, April. How are you? Bubby Watts says, Jake, I told you before. No sense makes sense. Jake, that was the most tragic, horrific nightmare. Haunts people to this day. So sad. Yes, it was. It is, and now it's still claiming lives because people want to go down and visit it for some reason. I would prefer a Polaroid. Walter says, I worked at a plant that made pipe fittings for nuclear reactors. The pipe that would withstand 10,000 psi internally was 6 inches thick. Inconellan, kind of like steel, but much tougher and heavier. Mm-hmm. I've worked at a few nuclear power plants also. April says, I'm doing good, Julie. Still at the office. Kevin had to go see clients in the jail that have court this week. April says, hey, Walter, did you figure out what name for your party? Did you figure out a name for your party? That is a trapped coffin. Yes, I agree. They bolted them inside from the outside. There's no way to get out. Even if they could surface, they can't get out. So they might be at the bottom of the ocean, or they might be just floating on top of the ocean somewhere and nobody knows where to look. It's kind of freaky. Trapped is trapped. You wouldn't catch me dead in it unless I had a key. Julie says, April, I hope it goes well, that you get to go home soon. Howie says, 18-year-old son is with dad. Good Lord. I pray he sees fit for a miracle. Are you saying that there's a father and a son on board of that submarine and the son's 18? I think that's what you're saying. That's terrifying. Walter says, hi, April. April says, thanks, Julie. Walter says, 96 hours is 4 days. I think it was start to finish 8 days on the boat with the side trip on the sub. Okay, well, that may be so. I don't know. All I know is that the ticket for the ride is $250,000 for 8 days. Now, what they do in that 8 days, I don't know. If it's all on the sub or if it's part going to I think it's about 200 miles offshore, so it might take 4 days to get there by boat, so that may very well be what you're talking about there. I don't know. Either way, it's got 96 hours worth of air, which is a finite number, and 5 people breathing. That air ain't gonna last 96 hours, especially if there's not anything replenishing it. I wonder if they have a rebreather on board or one of those air scrubbers like the astronauts use. You know what I'm talking about? They got little cartridges on the outside of the spacecraft, and it recycles the air and scrubs it clean again so you can rebreathe it. And that's what happened to Apollo 13. One of their cartridges blew out, so they didn't have any oxygen coming in, fresh oxygen. They were breathing CO2 and whatever it is. I think it's carbon dioxide that you exhale. It's either monoxide or dioxide. I don't know which. Anyway, that's why they almost died. But I wonder if they got that technology on a submarine and why they don't use it. April says, I think I saw this story on Mr. Ballin. I don't know who Mr. Ballin is, but yep, probably so. It's pretty popular right now. Everybody's talking about it. April says, hi, Howie Brown. Welcome. Good to see you. Walter says, not yet. I'm guessing that's the answer to April's question. No name for the party. April says, yes. Wasn't the son supposed to get married? The son? Question mark. That's terrible. I hope there's nobody just about to get married or just about to die. April says, I swear I saw this on Mr. Ballin. Have you watched him, Jake? I don't know who that is. So I'm guessing no. Dioxide. So you breathe in carbon monoxide and you breathe out carbon dioxide. Is that how that works? Either way. Not that one. I got you. ATL says, that sub is too small for scrubbers. Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. Monoxide is from burning things. Okay. I don't know. This is not my area of expertise. I do have areas of expertise, but this ain't one of them. You breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide. Well, actually, the oxygen you breathe is only about 7%. I think there's other stuff in it. I just can't remember what all the gases are. I think there's hydrogen, there's oxygen, there's a little bit of argon. There's a couple of things that you breathe in. April says, nope, this is different. The one I'm thinking of was a Russian sub. Nope, this is I'm assuming it's an American sub. It might be a Russian sub, I don't know. But it's an experimental sub. It's not one that belongs to the Navy or anything like that. It's one of those that we know how to build, but they haven't been tested enough to conscript into the Army or whatever, so they're still experimental. And apparently, and I'm just talking out of my tail here because I don't know what I'm talking about, but apparently it goes way deeper than normal submarines go, because a normal submarine go down deep enough, deep as this thing goes, and it would just implode. Just be nothing left. So this thing, they pressurize it after they bolt you into it. So they seal it and bolt it together with you in it. And then they pressurize it. I think one of these guys said 6,000 PSI. That's a lot. That make you blow up like a marshmallow on land, you know. But underwater, with all the pressure of the ocean pressing down, it keeps everything equalized. Anything at that point could happen. If one bolt were to fracture, or one crack were to appear in the frame, or window stress, or anything, if they ran into a rock and it pinged the side of the metal and caused it to have a weak spot, that's it for that sub. It just goes flat like a pancake. All air goes out of it. That's what an implosion is. It's an implode. It's the opposite of explode. That's not a pleasant way to die, I would imagine. ATL says, Krebs cycle. Okay. Fab Daddy, 70% nitrogen. We would die quickly if we breathed 100% oxygen. Correct. I knew it was something else other than oxygen. I don't remember the exact percentage, but I think it's like 7% oxygen. You can't breathe 100% oxygen. 100% is not so good to breathe. I think it would make you sick after a while. I think it would kill you. I don't think you could breathe 100% oxygen. I don't know. I'm just guessing. But I know that even scuba tanks have to have a certain amount of other stuff in it. You can't just have oxygen, you know. OMG, says April. Hello, Fab Daddy. Good to see you, says April. And hello, Fab Daddy. Good to see you, buddy. Welcome to the party. It's getting deep. Hi, April, says Fab Daddy. Walter says, the Russian Navy lost an early nuclear sub. The Navy built a recovery ship with Howard Hughes to recover it. No. That's the plot for Hunt for Red October. No, I'm just kidding. It would change your pH level of your blood. It would change something. I know that if you're exposed to space, the oxygen in your blood bubbles out. So you would feel your blood boiling if you were out in space for a couple of minutes until it all boiled out. And then you would just swell up like a marshmallow, like a big leathery marshmallow, and pass out. It's not like you think. You don't freeze to death in space. Like in Star Trek, you know, they always got ice on them when they come back in from outer space. No, you got about 15 seconds if you can hold your breath or let all your air out. Because if you hold your breath, you're going to hurt yourself. You got to let all your air out. And you got about 15, 20 seconds. And then you blow up like a big leathery marshmallow. Like a big flat tire. That's what you'll look like. A big skin flap just floating in space, and the sun would make you start cracking almost instantly. Ugh. See, there's no reason to go into outer space. There's no reason to go under the ocean. There's a perfectly good ground right here. You don't need to go in there. Everything in there is trying to kill you. Stay up here. People. Walter says, it's a true story. Mm-hmm. April says, yes, that is the one, Walter. Walter says, you would be microwaved in space from the radiation. Yep. Mm-hmm. April says, it is such a sad, scary, just cringing story. Oh, Jake. True. Mm-hmm. Sepson Trichnosis. What's up, my brother? Good to see you. Well, I'm late. Ahoy, y'all. You're not that late, buddy. You're right on time. We all got here early. Bubby Watt says, people are just too curious. People are just dumb. No offense. But, I mean, why would anybody strap themselves to a rocket that was built by the lowest bidder, get launched into outer space, only to then try like hell not to die before you can get back home if you don't blow up first? That doesn't sound like a fun day to me. ATL says, space is not such a good place to be if you are looking to live. Amen. I agree. Simpson says, people suck. Individuals are kind of okay. Simpson says, I'm not a racist. I hate everybody equally. Ahoy, Simpson, says Walter. Hi, Simpson. How are you, brother? Good to see you. I was late too, says April. ATL says, smack that like button if you haven't yet. Please do. Please hit that like button. It's right in front of you. It takes no effort at all, and it really does help the channel. So do your part and hit the button. Simpson says, correct. That's the way it is. I'm a fellow curmudgeon and a little bit misanthropic, so I totally understand. Ahoy, Walter. Ahoy, April, says Simpson. You guys, I'm so glad to be here tonight with y'all. I was thinking about you all day today. What are we going to talk about? I said, let's talk about this submarine going missing. That seems kind of obviously strange. Like they should have those kinks worked out by now, you think? We've been doing submarines for a while now. There's one over here in Kinston, North Carolina, that's made out of wood and was used at some point. Seems like they could get it right. I was true stories, says April, about Tigger and Lion trainers getting mauled and eaten. OMG. I couldn't listen anymore. Whoa, that's tragic. See what I mean about people? Why would you go messing with a tiger or a lion? That's a tiger. It's a monster. Why would you be anywhere near it? Why would you put it in a cage that doesn't have a ceiling? Think about what you're doing. That's a monster. It eats people. It looks at you like that cartoon where you look at somebody on an island and they turn into a ham bone. That's what it's looking at you like. You're not a person to a tiger. You're dinner. But yet people go around them. That people want to see a pretty tiger. Did you know, fun fact, there are more tigers in captivity in Texas than there are in the rest of the world in the wild? More in Texas in cages than in the wild, the world over. That's how smart people are. Semi-deep into my cups. So perhaps forgive me, LOL. No forgiveness needed, Sepson. You are welcome to say and do anything you like here as long as it's within reason. April says, LOL, Jake. The way you read that, OMG, I gotta get my other phone. The way you read that. I didn't read it any other way than it was written. I was true stories about tiger and lion trainers getting mauled and eating. OMG. I couldn't listen anymore. Whoa, now that's tragic. That's what it says. Simpson says, I think the Titanic sub-tourist may have gotten what they deserve for attempting to visit an underwater gravesite. Since I was in the USN, I may have a difference of sunken ships. May have a difference of opinion on sunken ships. Cowboy 8 panel, what's up? Good to see you. Hadn't seen you in a while. Glad you dropped by. Look at that ham bone sitting there. He's looking at me like I'm a ham bone. I can tell. Tiger. April says, sorry for the typos, y'all. No problem. I can read typoes. Bubby Watt says, did they say that in Tiger King? Oh, I don't know. I never watched Tiger King. April Rain says, hello, Cowboys. 8 panel. Welcome. Pac-Man Ghost Kissy Face Heart. Sepson says, different view. I got you. I understand. I get why you would be trepidatious about it, especially if faced that fear of death or the acceptance of it on the water. I would imagine that would hit differently than it would other people. Tourists be tourists, Joe, and they want to see the Titanic. I'm like, and the movie ain't cutting it, so they get in a poorly made submarine and go down to the bottom of the ocean for a little while and hope they can come back. I reiterate, I'm not getting in anything that you bolt me into from the outside and don't give me a way to get out by myself. If I got to wait for you to unbolt it for me to get out, I'm not getting in it. Simple. Sorry, drunken fingers can't keep up, says Sepson. That's all right. I got what you were saying. I used a different word, but it meant the same thing. Hello to all, says Cowboys 8 panel. Bubby Watt says 11 viewers. Wow. It's usually about 11. While I'm live, then it jumps up to about 50 afterwards. But over on rumble.com/UntetheredLive, the new videos are getting like 200 plus views. So that's an improvement. So go by, if you hadn't done so already, to rumble.com/UntetheredLive and hit that follow button and make sure you got the notifications turned on so you can find out when my new videos drop on Fridays. We're doing Fridays over on Rumble now. See how that goes for a while. And I'm liking it so far. There's a few little hiccups. There's still got some work to do, but they're getting there. That's an important thing. They're working on it. LMAO, he's never watched Tiger King. Ha 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 ha. Nope, never have. It's not my bag. I took one look at that dude and decided he was a lunatic, and I didn't want to watch him. So, don't forget, a very expensive trip, too. $250,000 a person. That's a lot. There's 5 people on board. So that's three times 250,000. Because 2 of them work for the sub. So one's a captain or pilot, and the other one is a quote-unquote content expert, whatever that means. April says, I'm dying laughing right now. Please hit that like button, subscribe, and share. We love you, says April. Please do. Like, subscribe, share, and visit Rumble. And follow and hit the like button over there. And you will have done your part for the chat or for the podcast or for whatever you want to call this thing. Simpson says, I mean, the USS Arizona is one thing. The Titanic... Well, civilians, ... I don't know how to feel exactly. I do. You remember when the Beatles got off of the airplane and said, oh, we're more valuable than Jesus, or whatever it is they said, more popular than Jesus. And then immediately afterwards, the Beatles were no more. John Lennon shot the guy who said that. I'm not drawing any lines. I'm just saying, kind of odd that when hubris precedes you, there's an expression for that. Let's see if I can remember it. Something like pride goeth before the fall. Right? That's how I think about it anyway. Julie says, I couldn't bring myself to watch it either. Yeah, the Tiger King thing. It's a strange cat with a mullet, and I'm not into that. And I have a mullet, or had one. April says, Cowboys, how are you doing? So nice to see you again. April says, yes, Rumble. Salsa, Elvis, music, thumbs up, kissy face. Thumbs up. Whatever that means. Sepsis says, that was better than 10 years, though. Mm-hmm. Pride comes before the fall. I think it's goeth before the fall. It's in front of you. Either way, that's the expression I was thinking of. Sepsis says, you are correct. But Lennon said that a good 10 or more years before he was shot. I didn't say it was a correlation. I just said that that's what happened afterwards. But immediately after he said that, the Beatles were no more. They broke up very shortly after that. I am flustered after watering the ant-attacked flowers. Cowboys 8-panel? I don't know what to tell you, but my sister probably does. She's a florist. I'll ask and get back to you what to do about ant-attacked flowers. Fab Daddy says, Tiger King is a great documentary of today's society. Wacky with twists and turns. I thought it was about a meth head gay dude that had tigers. Next up on Methed Up Gator. Mm-hmm. These were living in the zoo and had been brought up by the owners that hurt or killed so horrific. Translation: the tigers that were on Tiger King were raised in the zoo and were rescued from poachers in Africa and raised by generous owners at the zoo in Florida. Got it. So horrific. There's a lot of people who are obsessed with pride, if you know what I mean, Jake. I'm one of them. Truth be told, what's up, buddy? LOL, meth heads. There's a meth head to my madness. Exactly, says April. As I told you, I read typo E's. Thanks, Jake. Love, you did good. Appreciate it. Anyway, the real reason I didn't want to watch Tiger King is because it gives me flashbacks. You know what I'm saying? No, Jake, not that pride, the bad pride. I do understand. No, yeah, there's a lot of that going on. A lot of hubris is the word I would use, but it means pride. Truth Be Told says, hi, April. What's up, Truth Be Told? Good to see you, buddy. Well, someone dumped some stuff nearby, but it's been a hard spring. Working to control the ants and send them to the mulberry trees, says Cowboys 8-panel. Well, I would say that mulberry trees are probably a good thing to keep the ants away from you, because they'd be all eating the mulberries, wouldn't they? I don't know. April says, truth be told, love, how are you? Heart, Pac-Man ghost. You make out your own hieroglyphics. I'll just repeat what they say. Sepsis says, okay, I think I am feeling a tad over argumentative. I think that I will be silent now. You don't need to do that, Simpson. You can talk all you want, buddy. Nobody's arguing with you. But if you want to argue, I'm good at it, just so you know. Pretty good at it, and I hadn't sharpened my teeth in a while, so, you know. Bubby White says, yeah, we're not on Rumble, so I'm watching what I'm saying. Me too. That's very hard to do. April says, I've missed you. Pac-Man Ghost Heart Heart. Kevin Cox, what's up, brother? Hey, Jake. I have been seeing my friends at the jail and now headed home. Well, I'm glad you're finally out of there. Quite a late hour to be heading back from jail. I must say, though, I've been released from that very jail at this hour, so I understand. Truth be told says, I am doing good, April. Thank you for asking. And the best way to get rid of ants is to throw one mound onto the other, and they will fight to the death. I don't know if that'll work, but it'd be fun to watch. Like miniature Thunderdome. Mad Max in the tiny Thunderdome. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Cowboys 8 Panel says, my yard is full of herbs and spices. I didn't want them in the flowers. I don't blame you. Simpson says, ha-ha. Kevin says, April, I will see you at Gators or at home if you've already eaten. Kevin says, now I'm driving. Spellbinding. Bubby White says, how are you doing, Kevin? April says, no, I'm going there now, love. Cowboys 8 Panel thinks it's hilarious. Crying tears of joy. Whew. I love it when there's a busy chat. Although, I have been toying with the idea of putting the chat up on the screen, like a transparent chat, where you just see the words going by in a little box. What do you guys think about that? Would you rather read them yourself or me keep doing it? What do you think about that new alien video from Las Vegas? I haven't seen a new alien video from Las Vegas. I saw some young kids claiming to have seen an alien in Las Vegas, but no proof other than a cop saying he saw something weird. Have you seen a video? Have they shown it? I don't know anything about it other than the first reports. And I thought they were just trolling then. April says, me too. You too what? Bubba Watt says, I'm not against it. Okay. It's worth a try. I mean, I know how to do it. I just hadn't done it because up until recently, there hadn't been that many people in chats. It's easy to read it, but if it's going to go by faster than I can keep up with it, it'd be nice to have it on screen where you could see it, you know. I don't know if you guys can see the chat or not on screen. I know you got it under the screen or whatever. I don't know if you have to flip back and forth being on a phone. I've never tried to do it that way. Either way, Truth Be Told says, when the kid goes in the backyard, you can see something peeking through the fence. Clearly looks like an alien. They didn't even notice it at the time. That's the movie Signs. Bubby Watt says, you're going to have to shrink your screen a little bit and such. That's fine. I can piddle with it. I'm eventually going to hang that green screen back so I won't have a screen like this. It'll all be behind me. I don't really like this setup anyway. This was just a means to an end. Simpson says, most people think that's a pirate's favorite letter is R, but it's really C. LOL. I see what you did there. C, S-E-A. I thought a pirate's favorite word was booty. It's my favorite word. I will say, though, I love the smiley faces, Jake, says Bubby Watts. Thank you. R for rum. A ho ho ho. And a bottle of rum. Yo ho ho. And a bottle of rum. Cowboys 8 panel says, I have the chat under your screen. I find that everything seems smaller with the chat on screen. Okay. Well, there's one nay. Now you're talking, Sepson. Rum. I wish I could drink. I just don't get into it. I like the idea of it. It just doesn't work for me. I just get sick. I can drink half a pint of something and I'm just throwing up. I don't have the liver for it. Too much Native American, not enough fire water. You know what I'm saying? See, I'm half Native American, half Irish, so they cancel each other out. If I was one or the other, I'd be a heck of a drinker, but it's like two negatives don't make a positive. They cancel each other out. Opposites attract and likes repel. It doesn't work on me, says Cowboys 8 panel. I tend to be more social when I drink. And that doesn't work on you. It doesn't work on me either. Bubby Watts, I wouldn't say I was yay. I just wouldn't really care of having it on screen, you know. I get you. Fab Daddy says, maybe highlight each message you read. Well, I can't unless I do it the other way. I could probably put a bot down at the bottom I could click on a chat and it would pop up at the bottom maybe. I'll figure something out. I'm not using StreamYard, so it doesn't automatically do that. I have to have a piece of software that makes that happen. But it ain't a bad idea, Fab Daddy. April says, yes, I wouldn't be able to see it either. I'd have to hold the phone to my face, or I could just put on my glasses, LOL. Well, that would be a start. ATL says, a cap of olive oil should fix it. Yeah, that might. German, Scottish, Irish. I likes me drink. Well, I'm Native American and Irish, so the two don't mix well together. And for some reason, I love French fries. I'm just saying. I don't know what that's all about, but you know. April says, oh, yeah. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. ATL says, a little olive before you drink. A little olive oil before you drink. I'm thinking that'll make it go faster. Why don't I just take a swig of castor oil and then go drink some rum? Hot rum. Oh, my. April says, duh, LOL. Retarded smiley face, frowny face, I think, or kissy face. I don't know what those are. Can't see them clearly. Maybe I should put on my glasses. Does it help heartburn? No, but a little baking soda will. Take a little teaspoon and get about a half a teaspoon of baking soda. Mix it in some water and drink it. That'll do you right up. It should, April, says ATL. You can try anything once. Drink some olive oil. See what it does. Cowboys 8 panel says, smiley face, hamburger in a glass. Just kidding. Looks like a hamburger in a glass. That might be a really big ice cube or a toddy. I can't figure out which, but it looks like a hamburger in a glass. Tell me I'm wrong. ATL says, but it doesn't last. So it helps, but it just don't last. Oil/grease will help the alcohol flow through a bit faster. A nice burger just before you start is always the answer. Maybe that burger that's in that glass right there. Maybe that's what she's saying. Take a shot of burger and then take a shot of alcohol. I don't know. Maybe I'm just going crazy. Sepson says, LOL. Burger glass. I like it. Guess what I had for dinner tonight? A big fat steak, some collard greens, and mashed potatoes and gravy, and beef tips. And buttered bread. It was good. Yes. Thank you. I cooked it myself. I was very hungry. Dude, you've lost it. Yep. Yeah. I never had it. What are you talking about? Lost it. You got to have it to lose it. Sounds great. It was good. It's a big old thick steak, too, about that thick. Very nice. I'm just kidding. That's all right. Sepson says, steak works, too. A good meal before or while you drink is the way to go. I'll keep that in mind. I don't eat a lot, so that may be the problem. That may be what it is, and maybe why I get sick every time I get drunk. But I don't eat a lot, so there's a good chance it's on an empty stomach, you know. I do eat about once a week, though, a dinner, you know. And the rest of the time, if I just take a bite or two of something, and that's it. And it's just the way I live, you know. Sounds good, says Julie. It was good. Delicious. Buddy of mine gave me a big old fat juicy steak and some onions. So I sauteed some onions, and I cooked that steak medium well, put the onions on top, put the collard greens, ketchup on the collard greens. If you don't knock it till you've tried it, try it. Ketchup on collard greens. Try it. And then come back and tell me I'm crazy. Anyway, that and some, I didn't have anything to make mashed potatoes with, but I had like one of those quick meals in a little plastic thing that's got beef tips and mashed potatoes and gravy in it. And I just heated that up, dumped it out, and mixed it with the sauteed onions. Mwah, magnifique. That's how single people eat. It's hard to cook for one person. But I was already eating steak, so the beef tips were just an extra bonus. Julie, where are you from again? Caucasian Sasquatch. What's up, buddy? Sepson, hey, baby. How you doing, Caucasian? Good to see you, buddy. Sup, Jake? Brother? Brother from another mother? Good to see you. Cowboys 8 panel said I lost it earlier. I explained I never had it. You can't lose something you ain't never had. Muy loco. ATL says, hey, Caucasian Sasquatch. Caucasian says, April. Tip of the hat. How was your live stream tonight, or did you do one? I saw you had that troll back on. It's pretty interesting. That guy seems to be pretty charming. For those of you that are just joining us, go by and check out Caucasian Sasquatch's channel. Quite the interesting watch, that is, if you haven't done so already. I'm in Northern California, about 80 miles inland from San Francisco, about 3 doors down from the girl from Iwo Jima. And across the street from the little old lady from Pasadena. Tildar Hobblesquatch is great. I take your word for it. I understood none of those words. ATL says, Caucasian Sasquatch is going to have a real interesting lady on in a couple of days. VP. I'll have to check that out. I need to watch his streams more, says Bubby Watts. ATL says, I can't wait to hear her talk. Well, who is it? Don't keep me in suspense. How do you keep an idiot in suspense? I'll tell you later. Bubby Watts says, sorry, I was looking at some baseball tickets, but I'm back. I didn't know you left. Caucasian says, I hope so, ATL. She's sort of, I'll say, busy. VP. Vice President? You mean Kamala Harris? You're going to have Kamala Harris on your podcast? Good for you. Avoid the cackling. Don't say anything smart. Oh, vegan patriot. I got you. My bad. Fab Daddy says, Tildar is the goblin. I know. I was just messing with him. We don't all live at the beach, LOL. I know, but you're across the street from it. Come on. You're in California. They ain't but two sides of the road. You go far enough that way, you're in the beach. ATL says, her channel name is VP. She is an active person. Well, that's cool. Wonder where she gets all that energy from, being a vegan and all. I'm calling bullshit. Somebody's taking some vitamins. That's all I'm saying. Kevin Cox says, it is really dark here. What happened to the moon? Maybe it's the dark side of the moon. Might be a new moon tonight. Drugs, yes. Something. You ain't getting it from veganism, that's for damn sure. April says, LMAO, Caucasian, right? I've still been waiting on somebody to send me some drugs. Ain't nobody done it yet. Eaten by Fenrir. Eaten by Fenrir. I understood none of those words. What is a Fenrir? About 48 pounds soaking wet. You guys are hilarious. Hey, psst, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and press the bell icon so you get notifications of when I'm going to be online and when my new videos drop. Smash that like button. It's right in front of you. It's free. It's effortless. It really does help the channel with the algorithms, and it helps us get recommended to other people. So won't you do that, please? Share this video with somebody you love. Better yet, share it with somebody you don't love. Bring them to the family. Make them part of the fold. Be part of their solutions, not part of their problems. Leave comments down below. Let me know what you're thinking about. Question me, curse me, bless me, challenge me, confront me, conform with me, drink my Kool-Aid, make your own Kool-Aid. As long as you're thinking critical, that's what I want. Critical thought coming from that brain of yours. And hey, if you love what I'm doing and you can see the value in what I'm trying to build here and you would like to help out, or if you feel led to send tithes, offerings, or love offerings to my service on Sunday, or if you'd like to just pat me on the back and say, hey, good job, Jake, I see what you're doing here, and I'm with you. You can do that. You can support my work by going to paypal.me/jakejohnsonband, or if you're a CashApp user, $jakejohnsonband. Every little bit helps. It's a win-win. It's a blessing to me, and much needed. It's a blessing to you, too, because God notices these things. And now, if you'll take a moment to go to rumble.com/UntetheredLive and follow me over there and see what kind of exciting, great new things we're doing on that platform, which is completely different than this platform, do so. And now I will answer all of your questions and comments. Back to the video. Julie says, it would take me a couple of hours to get to the beach. I live in the valley. Like for sure, gag me with a spoon and whatnot. I don't know how valley people talk, but I'm trying. Basically, a dried up waterbed and about as interesting. I doubt that very seriously. You are very interesting, and I enjoy making fun of you. Caucasian says, what the heck is that, April? There's a smiley face you don't see every day. That smiley face drank some olive oil and then went and got drunk. That's what it looks like. Caucasian says, the moon is eaten by the great wolf Fenrir at the onset of Ragnarok. There is absolutely 100% no proof that that guy saw that movie. Bullshit, sir. Julie Berryman says, not the nice sunny beaches either. Those are about a 6-hour drive. Oh, you get the crusty, seaweedy beaches. I got you. Bubby Watt says, had the Rumble message ready for you, Jake? Just in case you didn't bring it up. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. You are one heck of a moderator. April says, LOL, I don't know. I saw it on YouTube emojis. Funny looking. Yeah, it is kind of funny looking. Not that valley. It's a more country over here. Lots of orchards, says Julie. So not the beaches and not the valley. So are you even in California? I like fruits. I like fruits too. Julie has an orchard. Get all the fruit you want, or apples. I don't know what grows in an orchard other than an apple, but there you go. April says, you are awesome and beautiful, Julie. Heart, heart, Pac-Man ghost, prayers. Probably pistachios. Probably. Do pistachios have mustaches? You be the judge. I like these YouTube emojis, says Bubby Watts. Those are weird looking. That last one looks like me when I try to brush my teeth. They look funny. They do look funny. Squinty face, thumbs up, kissy face. How dare you speak with that language? That'll be enough of that language, Missy. The cussing, not the emojis. Julie says, it's not all beaches and movie stars, contrary to reputation. Sorry. Caucasian says, pistachio, long hair, does, but it might be fake. Pistachio, long hair? That's a name? That's a name. Only one of those letters, one of those words is capitalized, but I'm assuming that's a name. Pistachio, long hair, fake mustache. Got it. I'm willing to bet most pistachios don't have mustaches. It's Mexican long hair. Got it. Mexican long hair. I respect anybody that has long hair. You can't really do that unless you have long hair, and I have long hair, so. Pistachio long hair is hairy nuts. Okay. I did not know that. So, if I read this correctly, Mexican long hair has hairy nuts and calls himself pistachio long hair. Jake respects me. Let's go, says Bubby Watts. I do respect you. Fab Daddy says, you can draw a mustache on anything. I agree. Dudes must have long hair. Thank you, Cowboys 8 Panel. I'm assuming you're female. April says, yes, that's right. Well, this is just for you. Better? Didn't see that coming, did you? Mustachio long hair is Mexican long hair. Now it's mustachio? I thought it was pistachio. Is it pistachio or mustachio, or do they both have long hair, and are they hairy nuts? I've gone cross-eyed. Thank you. Yep. Yes. Congratulations. At least you know what a woman is. Dudes are people that don't know how to ride horses. Is that what they are? I thought that was the little thing that hangs down from an elephant's ass. Dude ranches. There may be some misinterpretation there, but it's possible. Pistachio is hairy nuts. This is turning into a who's on first kind of situation. April says, yes, they put on the real deal, LOL. Jake, how dare you assume a gender, JKLMAO. I didn't assume, I asked. I did ask. But I also said I'm assuming, so I guess you're right, I did assume. I've been canceled now, thank you very much. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. It's funny. I'm sure everybody here is okay with that. Don't get me started on Mysterio Sam Squatch. Squanch? Scranch? Scratch. Sam Scratch. What is a Mysterio Sam Scratch? That's just a lot of words. Fab Daddy says, AJOT is Justachio. Really? So you got mustachio, pistachio, and justachio. Ha-ha. Fab Daddy gets it, says Caucasian. Cancel Jake Johnson 2023, says Bubby Watts. Yes, I like it. Run with it. It's good for you. Caucasian says, you get it. You know what I'm talking about. You know. You know. I like the elephant comment. Thank you, April. I always thought that's what a dude was. That's what I was told. Could be wrong. I'm going on secondhand information here. Either way. Man, I've got so much gray hair. My hair used to be black. You know why you don't see elephants hiding in trees, says Fab Daddy? Because they can't climb trees? I don't know why. Tell me. They're really good at it. I like it. That's great. They are really good at it. That's why you never see it. Yes, I agree, Fab Daddy, says April, and Cowboys 8 panel says, Fab Daddy, why do elephants color their balls red? I don't know why. To look like cherries. Those are some awfully big cherries. No tiger. Yep. Ham bone. That's what a tiger sees when it sees a elephant balls. Big ham bone hanging down. The worst sound on earth. What's the worst sound on earth? It's got to be Kamala Harris's laugh. A giraffe eating cherries? Actually, giraffes don't have a mechanism by which to make sound. They can cough, but that's it. So they'd be out there going, tiger. Hey, it's tiger over there. That's what you would hear if you saw a giraffe. That's why if you go to the zoo and you look at all the animals, all of the animals look freaked out that they're in a cage, except for the giraffes. They're just as happy as they can be. Another day with no lions. I like it. I got it. It was the elephant making noise. Yeah, I put 2 and 2 together. You know what Tuum and Tuum is, don't you? For 'em. By the way, in case you didn't know, I am the world's worst joke teller. I'm funny, don't get me wrong, but it's natural. If I try to be funny, it's a disaster. Can't do it. Ask Caucasian, he'll tell you. I'm just not a joke teller. April says, if you ever go to Australia, do not go up to a cool Alabama or any animal for that matter. You will die in Australia. Everything wants to kill you. I don't know what a cool Alabama is. Unless you meant koala. Which they carry syphilis. So don't ever pet the koalas. And yes, everything in Australia can kill you. That is true. And by the way, don't ever ask for a napkin if you go to Australia to a restaurant, because they'll laugh at you. Koala. I figured that's what you meant. A cool Alabama. A syphilitic tiny bear with nothing to do but eat leaves. What's really interesting are kangaroos. Can anybody explain to me what a marsupial is? Because I do not know. It exhibits some very strange behaviors and abilities, like the pouch. Are you familiar with that thing? It's like an outside womb. It's weird. It's very weird. And nothing else has one except for marsupials. No other animals have outside wombs. I'm not sure if the baby comes from there, but it definitely goes in there until it's almost too big to fit. Have you ever seen one come out that was about half the size of his mama? It's kind of a strange sight. They kind of fold up and go in there backwards. I'm talking into my phone, and I had the window rolled down. Well, that sounds smart. You can tell how dirty someone is by their elbows. What do mine tell you? All righty, Jake. I'm getting out of here. It's getting late. I'll see you Friday on Rumble. Thanks for the stream. Bubby Watts, it was my pleasure. And I'm getting out of here, too. I didn't realize it was already 10 o'clock. Looks clean. That looks clean to you? I have permanent rough elbows. Don't know why. Started when I was about 40. And I noticed it. And it freaked me out. Because they're darker than everywhere else. It's like, I don't know, some kind of old age thing. Anyway, I don't know what causes it, so if anybody knows. All right, boys and girls, please do like, subscribe, share, and above all, consider to
VJ, now I lay me down to sleep.
That's me.
Pray the Lord my soul to keep.
I got my own theme song.
Before I wake, VJ,
I've been a good dog.
best friend, right through it all.
Kibbles and bits.
VJ. If I die before I wake.
Yep.
VJ.
All right, there's enough of that. See you, Jake. God bless. God bless you too, Bubby Watts. I love you guys very much. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you for all of your interesting content and comments and thoughts and just being part of the whole process. I really do love each and every one of you, and I hope that all of you have great days ahead of you. And all of your prayers come true, and all of your dreams are made reality, and peace be upon you all. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. I love you, and I'll see you Friday on rumble.com/UntetheredLive. Be there or be slightly rectangular. It's going to be fun and uncensored, which is beautiful. So be sure to join me over there and subscribe if you haven't done so already, or follow, as they say on Rumble. And we're building a channel over there, and it's some good stuff happening, so you might want to check that out. Have a great night, everybody. Be safe. God bless you. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, and if you do, name it after me. Until then, adieu.